Yeah. So we have discussed about the array list in the collections, and we are left with the hash map.
Yes, hash map and then
Multi-threading.
multi-threading. Yes.
So I'm going to create a new package here with name hash map. Hash test. Main method inside.
So array list is it's a data structure and it is used to handle the data, especially in the list or array of the data,
Yeah.
and sort the data and present them whatever order we want.
Yes.
That's pretty much about why we use array list, right?
Yeah. Array list is a collection which helps us to create data structures.
Yeah. Okay. And similar, like what is hash map and what it is used for?
So actually hash map in the array list we were allowed to store only one set of data. Like if you want to store a student, you can store only a student.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, but in hash map what happens is we can store two at a time, like key value pairs.
Okay.
Okay, most probably this will be used in Android in such places like we have to get the data from the web services.
Okay.
So then the data will be in the format of key value pairs. So I'll just show you an example of
So multiple data need not be all integers or all something.
yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And both array list and hash map, that means collections are used mainly for to deal with web services stuff.
Web services, and also sometimes we need to send a huge data from one activity to other activity.
Okay, so data transmission.
Yeah, data transmission. In such kind of cases we'll be using this these things. So see here, so this is kind of this is a web service, this is the JSON data which we get out of a web application. Can you see the web
Okay.
page?
Yeah, yeah, I can
Yeah,
see.
so here see ID we have, and C200 name again something, email again something, address again something, and in the second set of data also we have the same things, right?
Yes.
So here this is key and this is the value to that one. ID is the key and C200 is the value to that one.
Yeah.
So to store such kind of data we are going to use the hash map. And also while storing the data inside your database, you need to use the hash map, because we'll be having rows and columns, right?
Yes.
In a table the column will be taken as the key and the value will be taken as the value.
Okay.
Every time we are going to put the data inside. So at such kind of scenarios we just need to use them. We will mostly use these in Android only for storing the data and showing to the user, or else from the user data we'll be taking the user data and storing it into the database. Only for these two purposes we'll be using the data structure, and some, yeah, mostly these two only. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So now the hash map what we are going to discuss now will be having a key value page. So I'll take see here hash map, and see, if you carefully observe here, it is asking for a k value and v value. Those two will be classes, class types. Before in the array list we used to store string type, integer type, like that, right? The same here also. Here I'm going to take both as string values, string something like hash map equal to new hash map. So here is our hash map. The only difference is we have one more extra thing inside this angular braces.
Okay. And what is those called? They're called keywords or
This is class. String is a class.
oh, they're classes.
Yeah. So whatever, see, this is the type of data which we are going to store. I mean, which type of objects you are going to store inside this hash map.
It's like a data type.
Yeah, it's like a data type, but in Java we have user data type, right? Like classes.
Okay.
In the array list, the same thing what we did, the same thing we'll do here. But what is the thing is we'll be having two values instead of one value.
Okay.
Okay, for example, here we won't have the add method. Hashmap dot put off something like first inserted. Uh, so this is the data what we are having inside our hash map. Okay, so if I want to print something out of this hash map, you know the traditional way, like see, you get the data like this: second equal to second inserted, third equal to third inserted, first equal to first inserted, and fourth equal to fourth inserted. If you carefully observe here, we are not getting it in the order, right? Insertion order, it is not maintaining the insertion order.
Okay.
So first we have inserted first, but we are getting second here. Okay, our hash map will not have uh, this kind of things. I mean, it does not maintain the order. For example, if you are trying to insert the same thing again here, see the same thing, right? First and first inserted. Okay,
Yeah.
control F11. See here, but nothing got inserted.
Okay.
Okay, because duplicates are not allowed.
Okay.
Okay, let's check this out with with something new here. New first inserted, something like this. Okay, control F11. See, new first inserted is coming. Means it will replace the already present one. Hashmap
Mm-hmm.
operates on keys. It doesn't consider about values at all. It considers about the keys. It cannot contain duplicate keys actually.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
What
So
if you really have like the same thing? One is a new first, one is just first.
mm,
So how do you handle, like, do you get those scenarios in real life?
at that kind of scenario will not come because hashmap should be used at such a way where the unique keys should be there for us.
Okay, let's say you're handling web services data, all the usernames, right?
Yeah.
Somebody's name is Harsha, somebody's name is Harsha Kumar. Then you're
No.
transferring the
This
data from one.
first will be the ID or username or whatever we have, not the thing that will be inside the username. So this one will be see, you'll understand. So this one will be like username Sujit Marketing.
Yeah.
It will be kind of thing. But how many users you have also? Only one field will be there for them, username. It's kind of column value, column name.
Yes.
So that's why we definitely need not have a duplicate key at all.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, even such a scenario arises also, we'll be storing object types right here. Here only string means only one value we have.
Okay. So the column name itself will change it. Maybe
Yeah,
the value, maybe.
anything.
Okay.
Only the column name will be staying constant.
Okay. So you're saying value can match, like not exactly, but half of the string will match. That wouldn't be a problem
Yeah, it
as long
was.
as your column is unique.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So and then there are some other kind of ways also to get the values from this one. First of all, while printing the values from out of this one, so we should be checking whether the hash map is empty or not. Okay,
Okay.
so we have a method for that one, like is empty, hash map dot is empty. Now we have values here, like we have around four values here. You remove the first one here, so we have around four values. If I print, it is
Mm-hmm.
giving me false. Okay, if I remove all the elements, so how to empty a data structure in collections? Dot
I don't know,
clear.
just clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now if I run this again, I'll get true. Okay, so while getting the data from this hash map, whatever we have, so we actually need to check if of hash map dot is empty.
Print something. Okay.
So is empty means, so some like system dot
Empty.
hash map
Yeah.
is empty. So if not,
That's
I'm going to
not empty.
show the values. So, but the
Okay.
hash map as it is having two different kinds of values, we have a little bit difficulty in displaying the values here. Okay, one thing
Okay.
directly using the keys, we can display only values also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see here. I'll do something like uh, see. First of all, we need to get the keys, all the keys from the hash map. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I need to store it in another type of collection which has only one data. I mean, a single type, a single object it is going to store. So I'll be taking such kind of set here. Set is an
Okay.
interface which will be able to store the key sets of hash map. Set, and what is the type of keys we have here? Strings, right?
Yes.
So set to string some keys equal to hash map dot key set. Okay.
Okay.
So now I'll get all the keys from here. Check it out. System.out.println keys. So I get only keys here, second, third, first and fourth.
So key set is a function, predefined system defined
Yeah,
function.
it is a system defined function which is present in hash map, which is going to return a set of keys.
Okay.
Okay. So now I want to display these values. So you can specifically display a value of a key like this. See, for example, I'm going to above here once. System.out.println. The
Key.
uh, second key contains something like plus hash map dot
Key.
get of the key, whatever the key is. What is the key of the second? Is second, CCONT.
Okay.
If I print this one, sorry, that is a string, right? I should keep it inside double quotes. See, second key contains second inserted. The value of the second key will come here. Second inserted.
Okay.
Got that? So now
Okay. Okay.
my keys will be inside the keys here, right? All the keys will be inside keys.
Key. Yes.
Yeah. So I'll take a for each loop. For each of something like string key colon keys. Okay, now every time this loop continues, what the first key will come and store inside this, second key will come and store inside this, third one, fourth one, like that.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to print this one. Some key plus
Indirectly print just key, right? So
yeah,
whatever. So it just says one, two, three. Sorry, first, second, third, fourth.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Fine. You're making a mistake.
yeah, plus sorry, hash map dot get of
Set
key.
of key. Okay.
So I get second key contains second, third contains this one, first contains first inserted, fourth contains fourth inserted. Like this, I can get all the values of all the values from the keys. Okay, this is one way of getting the data from the hash map.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. You said that. So there is one more way of getting the data where we get both the key and the value from the at the same time. So here, first of all, we got the keys, and then we are getting the values from using the each key, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we can get the both of them from at the same time also. Okay, let us see how to do that one. So there we are going to use entry set. We are going to use entry set. Okay, so it is also going to bring out. See, we have like hash map dot before you use the key set, right? So
Yes.
we have entry set now. Okay, so this entry set, this is going to return me a set. Okay, this is also going to return me a set, but it is going to return a set which contains a type called entry.
Okay.
Okay, now this entry, what we need is string,
String.
and string data.
And what your entry set means? Entry set function.
Entry set function is going to return all the entries, kind of like I'll
When
tell
you
you.
say all the entries, do you mean the keys or values?
Both of them. That is
Oh,
the
both
reason
of
we
them.
have mentioned the both string and string here.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
Now,
keys only returns keys, and the entry set
yeah, the entry set now gets first string mentions the keys and the second string mentions the values. So now we have a for each loop saying entry string string entry colon entries. Okay, now every time one of the entry will be coming along. So every entry contains again the key and value. Okay,
okay.
so system.out.println something like entry dot get key. So we get the key value here. I mean we get the key here, and then we have something like entry dot get value. Okay, system.out.println entry dot get key something like arrow mark plus entry dot get value. I'm just going to run this one. See, second, third, first and fourth. Second inserted, third inserted, first inserted and fourth inserted.
Okay.
So what we are exactly doing is we are not going to take something like set of string and get the keys, and after that from each key I'm going to get the value before. But now what I'm doing is using the entry set, I can get all the values, all the hash map values into an entry, and then get the using the get key function, get value function, I can at the same time I can get the values of entry, all the entries.
Okay.
Okay? So that is what entries is, and we can also check. We are having one more function inside this one called contains key. So we can check whether
Can you explain me this?
what
Can you explain me this again? This
entry
one,
set.
the entry set. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So see here, the hash map dot entry set is going to return me a set of values which contains both of the things, a string and string. But actually, my set can contain only one value. Okay,
Okay.
a set can contain only one type of data, like one class only it can take. So but we can a set also can contain entry is also one kind of object which will be having two types of data inside.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, one is key and one is value. Now my set
Mhm.
actually contains all the entry type, so again the entry type contains both two values. Okay, actually directly we cannot access the values from the hash map dot get value or hash map dot get key, like we are, I'm not having a function called get key for that one, for hash map.
Okay.
For that particular purpose, before we used the set of keys, we got the key set and then displayed all the values for each and every key. But there is also a way where we can get the key also dynamically every time along with the value. So for that one we are going to use this entry. So now all these entries are stored in entries, right? So each entry
Yes.
we are going to get this into this entry, and using the get key we are going to get the key and the get value we are going to get the value of the entry.
Okay.
So at the
So
end of the day, entries
using
is completely similar to hash map.
yes, yeah,
Whatever you have the hash map, it just kind of gets to the whole thing, whole package of keys and values, and brings and keeps it into the entries.
yes.
So we are just using the get key and get value functions to get the keys and values. That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
It only handles one variable, so you are putting two variables of string into entry and then using entry as one variable for set.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So now we have one more function which is important here is, so we can check whether some value is present inside this hash map or some key is present inside this hash map or not. Okay. So see here, if of hash map dot, or else I'll just write this one, it will be very easy for us. System dot out dot println hash map dot contains key. Okay, contains key called first. Control F1, true. Okay, so is it having a key called
Okay.
first or not? So if I am removing this one, now I should get false, right?
Yes.
Control F1, false. Okay, so we can also check for value also like this. Contains value of, the value should be like first inserted. Only that particular value also I can check. True. Again I
So
comment
when you
this.
want to print something, so it won't give you any error. Just it just says true or false.
Yeah, that's it. It won't give any error. That is what that is one of the advantages we have with hash map. Even though we are not having values at all, it doesn't give any errors. It just gives no output at all.
Okay.
So the lesser number of exceptions is the more fun. Uh, sorry, my program will be that much efficient when we have less the number of exceptions actually. So we have to
Mm-hmm.
use predefined functions which will not raise any errors at all. At that kind of scenario, actually all these things whatever we are doing with collections can be done manually also, but it takes a lot of effort, lot of code, and lot of exceptions meterized over there. Everything has to be handled by the user again. Okay, to reduce the
Mm-hmm.
time
Okay.
complexity we are going to use the collections, and every collection, I forgot to mention one thing, every collection is going to have a default size called 16, 16.
Oh, that's a size.
Yeah, everyone will have a default size called 17, not exactly size, capacity, you can say it as a capacity.
Capacity of a collection.
Yeah. So that doesn't mean when you
So
enter a 17th value, it does not give any error. Actually, what happens is it will create a new collection with the 32 values, 32 capacity.
okay.
Okay, and then copies all the 16 values from the first collection to the second collection.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the reason sometimes at some scenarios collections might take a huge load actually.
Okay.
Okay. So if somebody asks you, do you want to, which one is better, using arrays or collections, means to reduce the effort of programmer, we can say collections is best. Like we are going to sort the values with a single line. We are going to put some value at some particular point using a single function, single method.
Mm-hmm. And
So
and what
programmers,
are the advantages going over going over arrays like arrays to collections? One of the thing is effort is a minimum,
yeah,
and what are the other benefits if you
the
consider
only
this one?
benefit is effort is minimum. Everything what we are performing with collections can be performed manually also using some kind of different kinds of
How about the
arrays.
storage,
Yeah, storage
memory
also.
allocation, storage performance? Does this
Yeah,
anything related?
yeah. But what happens in the arrays is when we are going to get the data dynamically, so there will be some problems with the arrays. So because the default size of them should be mentioned at the time of creating the arrays.
Arrays, yes,
Yeah. So that is one problem we are having with arrays. If you are certainly
because they are
sure
more
that,
static.
yeah, they're more static. If you exactly know that my program is going to handle only 200 users, then you go for arrays. Even more than one also, you should not go for
Okay.
arrays. Again, if less number of people come means again we get memory will be wasted. Even though it's not being used, memory will be allocated for that.
Okay.
So that is the reason that those are the disadvantages we are having arrays. The only advantage arrays is having over collections is no shifting will be required. It increases the performance of the application.
Okay.
The only advantage we have over the, but for that single advantage we are losing a lot of things over there. That's the reason people will be using collections only in the real time program.
Okay.
So in this way we can check the content scale, contains values also. Okay. So how to handle the user defined data, like we have some student class or something, some kind of thing like that. Okay, for that one we need a class called student, right? Class student. We have a constructor using fields, string name, int, roll number, the same thing what we did before. I'm always going to take the same class so that you don't get confused. Okay, I should test. Then I need a construct using fields, that is done, and then I need getters and setters. Then I need a tool. So this is what I have, my student class, a bean class here. Okay. So now I'm going to store these things inside the hash map. So for key, I'll just take integer, and then for value, I'll take student object, student. Got it? So for keys, I'm going to take integer. So it is not compulsory that you have to take this one only, integer only here. You can take some other class called instructor. So for example, we have a college and there every student is acquainted with a single a unique instructor. At such kind of scenarios, we can use such kind of like keys. Also, we can use instructor class.
Okay.
Okay. So here this is. I'll just put some values into this. Something like 10 here, and so how to create? We need to create a student object, right? In the value, new student, something like 100. New student name. So we have three things here, three values inside my hash map actually. So the keys are 10, 11, and 12, and their values are these student objects. Okay. First, let us see what happens if I directly print the values. System.out.println hash. Okay. So run this one and see here 10 equal to Sujit Majeti, roll number equal to 10. So actually this is the output of my toString method, right? Student name equal to Sujit Majeti, roll number equal to 100. This complete thing is the output of toString method, right?
Okay.
Yeah, you see, if you remove this toString method, what will happen? You just check it out. Remember, student at the rate of the class name at the rate of hexadecimal representation.
So you're printing hash map, and hash map has 10
And the
and
student
50
object.
and 100.
10 and the
Okay.
student object, 11 and the student object, 12 and the student object.
Yeah, but it should display a result of this thing, right? When you say new of student Gopi 103, right?
Yeah, what happened here is this new student is nothing but an object, right? When you print an object, what will happen? The class name of the top particular object at the rate of hexadecimal representation will be printed generally.
Okay.
So to prevent that one, what we
So
did
that's special.
is
So that's specially for collections, that hexadecimal displaying thing, or
no,
just
no, no. It's just
uh,
normal for
a
everyone.
Java thing?
It's a Java thing. That is the reason
Okay.
we described about the two-string method before, right? When we
Okay.
have a user defined class like student or faculty or somebody, so whenever we print the content, we want to print the content of that one and expect the output the same and print the object of them, we will be getting this kind of output actually, fully qualified name of the class at the rate of hexadecimal representation. So to because that will happen because the two-string method of the object class will be called always. So to avoid that, we are going to override the two-string method. Okay,
Okay.
so something like I'll remove this student here, then you will understand. Now check this one. So 10 equal to name equal to Sweet Majeti comma roll number equal to 100. 11 equal to name equal to so Kodan Raman roll number equal to 101. Okay,
Okay.
so it's just printing those values of that particular student.
Mm-hmm.
So don't worry, we can modify all these things. So you remember second way of printing the data, right? So getting all the values into key set.
Yeah.
Yeah. So see here, set keys are of integer types, right? So integer keys equal to hash map dot key set. Okay, we got the keys here. For of integer key colon keys. System dot out dot println. So hash map dot get of key. Hash map dot get of key. Okay, we're just printing only values here. Before we also printed the keys over there, but we are just printing the values. See, name equal to sweet manager roll number 100, name equal to Kodandram roll number 101, name equal to Gopi roll number equal to 100. So now these are values here. These two are values.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And what was the difference between our second concept and this one?
Second concept means
I mean, in HashMap we use the three, right? First we use the straight keys, and then with the list, and then this is the third one, right?
yeah. So here we are printing the values because this is the same thing what we used in the second way. But the thing is, the difference is what we have here. There we just have a string which will be having only one value. But here we have the student.
Okay.
So that's why I'm using this one again. You can also use in this way here. So like see what will happen. Let me ask you one question here. If I say hashmap dot get of key, okay, what does this written here?
Whatever in the keys.
So whatever value is in the key, right, means is it a student object or not?
Yes.
Yes, student, yes. Okay, so now I can print the values like this: s dot get roll number something colon plus s dot get name. See,
Okay. Okay.
instead of printing
Mm-hmm.
the student object directly, now I got the see, I got the value from this hash map here. So that is nothing but the student object, because the second type we mentioned inside the hash map is student. So using the student object, I call this method so that I can get the values from them.
Okay.
Okay. The endpoint is we can use any type of, any user defined types in as keys and values here.
Okay.
Keys will be unique, values might be repeated.
Yeah.
Okay, that is what our hash map is here clearly. Okay, so there are a lot of
So we are
yeah,
so we are passing some values and then we're displaying those values.
yeah, that's it.
So in real life, when you compare this to the real life web services thing,
Yeah,
then you are from one source, you are passing those source into one of some of our program variables
yeah,
and then displaying those, right?
yeah, yeah. We display them in the list view or like your contacts.
Okay.
So it can store that,
Okay.
store them in the database and display out offline also, or else sometimes some of the applications will be displaying values only when you are connected to internet, right? At that particular point of time, they are going to get the values every time you open the application.
Hmm. Okay.
At the
So
endpoint
in
is
our
yeah,
Android,
yeah,
whenever we want to deal with web services stuff like want to display something from backend, light SQL to front end, so we use these concepts
yeah.
on
This one
Android.
we'll use these concepts only.
So we use these concepts only, right?
Yeah.
Not any other.
No, we won't be using any other. We will only use array list and this one, hash map.
This is like we use this very often, right?
Yeah,
Because always you'll be displaying something, you're taking like whatever users data you key in and then in the database and display something
yeah,
else, right?
definitely we'll be using them.
It's like very often using. So
Yeah,
after
we
that,
use them very often. So, but more oftenly we'll be using array list instead of hash map.
okay.
So actually, only once we get the data from the
Yeah.
web service and store in the something like table or anything. After that, we'll be getting the data again from the table and displaying in the array list or some kind of other things.
Okay. So these concepts are important. The collections concepts are
Yeah,
array list and hash map.
yeah, very important.
Like we do literally every time whenever you key in something, you have to involve with this method. So this
Yes,
concept.
yeah.
Okay. 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 Fine.
So, so this is what we would be we had to discuss in collections here. So now we are going to multi-threading here. Okay, actually, you know about multitasking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be doing a lot of things as a system, that is nothing but multitasking. But when we have this multi-threading, what is that is the multitasking whatever we know has been again simplified into some components. Okay, that is nothing but the multi-threading simple. I'll just give a simple scenario here. So this is a task and this is another task. Okay, so we have these two tasks running in the system parallelly. Okay, so here one, two, three. Okay, see, we have here 6 lines of code we am having, here 6 lines of code I am having. Okay,
Okay.
so now these 3 lines are independent from these 3 lines.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see, for example, I have declared something like int a here, int b is here, and I am printing those values to here, a and b. And I have declared something like int c, int d. I'm adding those two values and printing here. So a and b values are
Okay.
not used here, and c and d values are not used here at all. So they are completely independent. But still, unless or until
Okay.
it allocates the memory location for A and B, and then get the value, store the values inside them, and then add them and print them, it does not allocate the location for C variable.
Okay.
But a lot of memory is present in my system. I can use that one, right?
Mhm.
So that's why what they are
Yeah.
doing is they have given us some functionality so that we can divide the program into further things like threads. Now these two curved rectangles are said to be threads actually.
So thread is means a program
It's kind
or
of simplified program. It's similar to a program, but a process is divided into threads actually. Okay,
okay, okay.
this whole thing is a program actually. A program which is under execution is said to be a process, right?
Okay.
So
Process is like set of tasks and each task we call it as a thread.
yes,
Okay.
no, process is different from threads. Again, process is divided into threads.
Yeah.
Yeah, each task is a process running in the memory, but again this process is divided into simple things called threads. Each thread is again all these threads are simultaneously running. Okay, that means
And
like if you are having if you are having two tasks running at the time in the memory, okay, so all these four threads will be running at the same time.
okay.
All these four threads will run in the memory at the same time because the memory will be equally divided between these four threads and will be given memory to run them and show the output or whatever they want. So that is what actually
Okay.
a thread is. Okay.
So thread means okay. So all the four programs run simultaneously with the synchronization concept.
Yeah,
So when
four.
one is busy, the other runs. When another is busy, the other
No,
runs.
all these runs at the same time.
So
No,
parallel
here no
execution is going
synchronization
on.
is applied here. Parallelly in all the four parts of programs will be running.
Okay. So
So
that's called multi-threading.
that is called multi-threading. This line will be executed, this line, four will be executed at the same time. Again second line, second line, second line, second line, third line, third line, third line, third line. Like that it gets executed.
Like a real-time example.
Real-time example, we can give real-time example for multitasking, but multi-threading, your brain,
Any example. Okay.
you can take your brain. You'll be doing a lot of things. You'll be thinking at the same time. So every process will again minimize into simple things and do all the things at the same time.
So it's like I'm writing, I'm watching, I'm listening to something.
Yeah,
Multiple tasking at the same time.
yeah. To your superficial body, you only observe that your eyes are watching your TV and your hands are on your popcorn and your mouth, your jaws are eating that popcorn. That's it. Only these three things you might think. But internally, how to digest this one, which part of your body needs energy, and all these things also will be calculated at the same time.
Okay.
So it's kind of that scenario.
So in our general words, we call multi-threading is nothing but multitasking.
Multitasking has been again actually, yeah, it's kind of multitasking. Process based multitasking and thread based multitasking, two are there.
Okay.
Okay, see the normal rectangle, you see two rectangles here, right? Bigger rectangles.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
these two executing at the same time is said to be process based multitasking.
Yes.
Okay, but what happens to our system is switching from one process to other process takes a lot of toll on our system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but switching from one thread to other thread is very simple because it is a lightweighted process.
Okay.
Okay, so this process is being divided into two parts and these two parts are executed simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
So the parts of these processes are said to be threads.
Okay. Okay.
Okay? So now how to create a thread? So actually Java provides us an API for threads. We have a thread class and we have a lot of things to create threads here. So let us see how to create a thread here and run them simultaneously. So multi-threading. So my thread one. Okay. and then new class method 2. We have our class test2. Okay. See this method 1. So your class can be set as thread when it extends your thread class or else when it implements runnable interface.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there are two ways of creating a thread. One by extending the thread class, other one by implementing the runnable interface. First we will see how to use thread class, and second one we will be using runnable interface. For now we will be using thread class. So
So
extend,
every thread of two, like one of these two types, you should extend thread type,
yeah,
or it should be a runnable, implement
yeah,
runnable thread.
yeah. Every thread has to be doing it, at least one of them. Then only it is set as thread.
Mm. Okay.
Okay. So it generally has a method called run. Sorry, public void run. Okay, so generally I'll be printing some 10 values here. Okay, like this, or equal to 0, I less than something like 10, I plus plus, and then I'm going to print some value here. System.out.println my thread 1 colon plus I. So I'm just printing the value here. Okay, my thread 1 I. So how many times this will print? This will get printed 10 times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so to show the effect for you, okay, let's do that this one first of all. So I'm just doing the same thing inside the thread 2 also. Thread 2. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so now in the test class of main method I'm going to write like create objects of these two threads. My thread 1 t1 equal to new method. My thread 2 t2 equal to new. Okay, so actually we can call this run method. Okay, so but what will happen when we call this run method is it just considered as a normal method in a normal class, and it just executes. That's it. Just check it out. T1 dot run and T2 dot run. Okay, see this one. First only my thread 1 has executed, after that my thread 2 has executed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no thread is created here. These are just normal methods and normal statements that get executed. That's it. Okay.
Okay.
So but when we also have another method called start here. So that is not, you did not write the start here. You don't write the start here. But in thread class we have a method called start. When we use this start, just check the output again. So thread 2 I did not extend thread here. Okay. So just check this out, check the output. See, actually, the output we cannot estimate the output of a multi-threaded program.
Okay.
Okay, because whatever happens is, so we'll be having a unique component in our we have a component in our Java virtual machine called thread scheduler.
Okay.
Okay, this thread scheduler is going to schedule the memory for each and every thread simultaneously. But how does
Mm-hmm.
that do? Nobody knows. But we can see the outputs here. See, from the my thread 1 I got 0 value. From my thread 2 I got 0 value. After that sometimes on the I got my thread 1 and my thread 2. See, again I run this program. It will not be the same. 2 got executed first instead of 1.
Okay.
Okay, we cannot exactly tell which one has been allocated the first and which one has been allocated the second, and again and again. Okay, for that I just use this method called sleep here.
No, but you're executing first, right? Like you're displaying something like T1 dot something,
Yeah, but still I
and
got
the
the 2
T1
here.
dot run, because system knows that they are both
Threads.
threads, so it does that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So just check this out. We have a method called sleep in thread actually. So I'm just making it some 300. So 300 milliseconds this is going to sleep. Okay, this is going to wait. So it expects an error. So I'm just using this exception handling here. The same thing here also. Okay, just observe the output. I'll tell you how did I do the programming. Okay, see 2 1 1 2 2 1 1 2 2 1 2 1. Okay, whenever a program has waited, the memory will be allocated to the second. I mean, a thread gets some weight like that. The memory will be allocated to the second one at the same time.
And let's say, right, the
Mm.
first one is waiting for 300 milliseconds,
Yeah.
and then second one it ran and it displayed something,
Mm.
and so it has still 300 milliseconds to display other stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like why it's just displaying one variable and then it's getting back? So that means that is usual time to display to perform one task at 300 milliseconds.
No, if you carefully observe, the output is coming like, oh, okay. I just increase a little bit more. You would understand. Instead of 300, I'll just use 600. So, G, two threads are executing at the same time.
Okay.
So did you
So does
observe
not
that one? Yeah, two threads are executing at the same time. So first thread, second thread, those two execute and again second thread and first thread and second thread, first thread and second thread. Here again we got second thread and first thread like that.
okay.
Okay, it is completely dependent on the thread scheduler. So which thread has to be executed once the memory is available for both of them.
And who defined the scheduler? It is a default
It is a
system,
default.
or
It comes with the JVM Java Virtual Machine.
and we have no control to decide
No,
like
no,
what the
we
scheduler.
don't have the control.
Okay.
Okay, this concept is just brought up into this Android training because in an Android we'll be having asynchronous tasks.
Yes.
So
Same
for
thing.
yeah, so simply I'll tell you a small thing. So the web service, what did I show you before? That comes from the internet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we should write the code to connect to the internet first of all. We need to have a class which connects to the which makes HTTP client connections and then gets the data for us, makes the
Okay.
service call and everything. So the whole applications running depends on the internet connection that is in your device.
Hmm.
Okay. One more thing, availability of the server also.
Okay.
Okay, so everything, see, Java, in Java everything is a thread actually. So whatever the main method you are calling, it is actually a thread. We are not creating that as a thread, but my Java will considers my main method as a thread here.
Okay.
Okay, so actually JVM is also a program, Java compiler is also a program, Java runtime environment is also a program. Everybody is a program, right? My main method just has to take some of the memory that is already available along with these programs. That is the reason they have mentioned main as thread. That is why Java's execution is faster.
Okay.
In Android, as well as it is based on Java, most of this architecture is based on Java. In
Hmm.
Android, the user interface, whatever you see, becomes the main thread.
Yes.
Okay, so and this main thread is having in Android they have flexibly given this one, like if your user interface is waiting for more than 10 seconds for any external program,
Hmm.
okay, then it is going to show you a small pop-up box called application not responding, do you want to force close this one?
Okay.
So if you want to wait, that is your wish. If you don't want to wait, So force close, it will close. So user need not wait for the whole application to close itself when the data is not available or some kind of things happen.
Okay.
Okay, whenever we are going to depend on internet or any other kind of things, so then we are going to use this asynchronous tasks, and we will definitely do that more because every application needs an internet connection, gets the data from server or some kind of thing.
So asynchronous means one by one, right? They don't do parallel. Parallel is more like synchronous. So asynchronous is like one by one.
No, if you apply synchronization, those will go like memory will be allocated for them after for one executes, then only the second one will get executed. That is
Yes.
synchronization.
Yeah.
Asynchronous means again multi-threading.
Okay. In parallel.
Yeah, in parallel. So my main thread will be executing at the same time. Again, a small sub thread will be created so that this one is going to wait for the output from the web service.
Mm-hmm.
So in the so main thread need not wait for us. So even though you want something like it has to wait and you have to show to user that like kind of thing, you will use the load screens here. Like a circle will be rotating for you when you're opening your application like that.
Okay.
Progress bar or such kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for that reason, threading is used. And this one is the first type. And the second type, like see here, I'm going to place under class level one implements runnable. So it shows me an error that we definitely need to use the run method. So I'm just going with the same code here. I'm just printing the values.
So just replacing extends thread with the implements runnable, right?
Yeah,
And what is the difference between these two? Like
yeah, I'll tell
why
that.
why the okay.
There is exactly no difference between these two if you carefully observe.
I mean functional point of view.
Yeah, no, functional point of view, we don't have any difference. Both are doing the same thing. But in Java, if you carefully remember, multi-threading is not applicable. Sorry, multiple inheritance is not applicable for classes, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So in Android, every class is going to extend somebody.
Okay.
That might be an activity, that might be an SQLite token helper, that might be a web service task activity, anything it is going to extend. Unless or until it extends something, we cannot get the complete functionality done over there.
Yeah.
Okay, so then again, how can it extend a thread? How can it create a thread for that one again? A class can
Yeah. For
only
different.
extend only one class, right?
Yes.
At that particular point of
Interface.
time, we will use implements runnable.
Or okay.
So runnable is best.
Okay. So implements we use this for interfaces, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the same concept we discussed there. Like if we want to have the properties of two classes, then we have to go into interfaces and we have to use the keyword implements.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. In the test class again, my code will actually change here. See here, instead of creating an object for my thread one, I'm creating object for directly thread class. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It is like super class.
Yeah. Right.
So you don't have to define a thread anywhere. Just the system default knows what thread is.
Thread is, but it needs to be provided with some functionality of runnable. Okay, so see here, new my runnable one, new my runnable two. Okay, this creates a
Okay.
thread. Excuse me.
No.
Hello. No, 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 no. యా మ్యామ్ నేను ఒక హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్లో కాల్ చేయమంటారా? నేను ఆన్లైన్ క్లాస్లో ఉన్నాను. అవునా, ఓకే, నేను మెసేజ్ పెడతాను. Sure. యా మార్నింగ్ నాకు పాసిబుల్ అవుతుంది, ఆయన పాసిబుల్ అవుతుంది, ఆయన కాల్ చేస్తే ఆయన వస్తారు. షూర్ షూర్ డెఫినెట్లీ. Yeah. So here what exactly happening is, so my if you carefully observe my thread 1 and my thread 2, they are extending the class thread, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Means indirectly we are creating an object of a thread class, right?
Yeah.
But here what we are doing is we are having some functionality here.
Fun.
Okay, generally thread class doesn't have a functionality.
Okay.
Okay, so I mean it doesn't have run method, and it has an empty run method over there. But coming to my runnable, what happens is we'll be having run method here, but the only way to create an object for thread is by for creating object as thread class object. Okay, in the thread class we are having another constructor called thread t1 equal to something like, see, your constructor will be like this, right? Thread open brace close brace, and see, like this it will be, right, your constructor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And define the variable.
in this we have runnable object, runnable runnable like something like kind of thing. Okay, it will be like this. So that is why we are going to provide new runnable class interface, my runnable one and my runnable two. Okay, this one internally creates a thread for me again. The functionality it is going to take from this my runnable one and my runnable two. And again, if I run this one, see, similar kind of output. Mostly there won't be any change in the output. Oh, in the second one also I have to have only one.
So we are implementing the same thing, but with different
Different way.
concept with the runnable,
Yeah,
runnable.
yeah.
And do we have to learn both to use this multi-threading, or one is fine? Like
One of them is fine. Both are actually doing the same thing, so one of them is fine. Just go for runnable, that is more benefit.
runnable is more better.
Yeah, runnable is more better.
Okay.
Okay, the thing is, we have run method directly. If you use the run method, what happens is, we exactly don't create exactly a thread. It's just like calling a normal method. But when we call the start method, the superclass method, it's a superclass method. The thread class is start method internally calls the run method, which is present in the subclass.
Which is present in the
Subclass
subclass. Okay.
by creating the thread inside the thread scheduler.
Okay.
Okay, that is the reason when I called the run method starting, so it just executed like a normal method. All the 10 statements from the first one got executed once, all the 10 statements from the second one got executed once.
Okay.
Okay, even though if now as we are having a gap here for a while, like that 300 milliseconds, you can just check it out now. So only one will execute it first, and then second will execute. This is normal method execution, not thread execution. Okay.
Okay.
So that is what our multi-threading is, and actually multi-threading is not over it. So I have some things to discuss here.
Mm-hmm.
Close others. We have here my test class, right? So actually in multi-threading, we exactly don't know what is synchronization, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, synchronization is we are going to we are going to allocate a resource in a synchronization. See, a method also can be a resource, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you consider a method as a resource, like for example, you are going to declare a variable called count, and you are going to increment this count by 2 threads at the same time.
Okay.
Okay. Then what will happen? For example, from the thread 1 you are going to see, actually there is another way of creating thread. Okay, we'll see directly in this example how to create the another way. Okay, so I'm just going to take one variable here, like something like static int count equal to 0. Okay,
Mhm.
so thread t1 equal to new thread of new
Uh,
runnable. So see, the whole implementation comes directly here. I need not create another classes for that.
mhm.
So I have incremented the count here, count plus plus.
Okay.
Okay, so this is thread 1, and then in the thread 2, thread t2 equal to new thread of new runnable. So this is said to be anonymous inner class actually,
Mhm.
because see, test is a class, right?
Yes.
Yeah, inside that one I'm writing another class here. This is a class body,
Yes, that's a class
but it is
body.
not having a name for this class. Runnable is an interface, right?
Yes.
So that is why it is said to be anonymous inner class.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay. So now to execute this one, t1 dot start and t2 dot start. Okay, and I'm going to write the print count value, count equal to plus
Yeah, not start.
count. Okay, so actually incrementing only once doesn't give any idea for me, right?
Mhm.
So I'll just surround it with something like surround it.
SOP something.
Yeah. No, I'm going to surround it with some print statements like
Okay.
for loop.
Mhm.
So I'm going to increment this for 20,000 times. Okay.
Mhm.
So after executing this whole program, what should my output? It's 20,000 times plus 20,000 times. So 40,000 I should get, right?
Yes.
See here. So I'm
Same
getting
like a
some,
previous one, but more number.
yeah. So we're getting 3684 something like. I'll get execute again. I'm getting 0 here. I'm getting 1980. I'm getting 0 again. 0. 1981.
So here we are displaying the count, right?
Yeah.
So count. So it's
See, actually what is exactly happening here is, so main is a thread, right?
yes.
Main is executing, and T1 is a thread, it is executing. T2 is a thread, it is executing. Okay, before the whenever we get to 0, what is happening is, before the execution of T1 and T2, main thread the execution is completing. Means
Yeah.
it is reaching the system.out.println, and directly I'm getting 0 over there.
So when you say main is a thread,
Hmm.
I mean you mean the test? Oh, sorry, main method.
Test.main.
Okay. And is it a default like main is a thread when you use the thread concepts, or we
No,
define interface?
it is normally a thread at all. It executes as
It's
a thread
normally a
normally,
thread.
always.
Okay.
It always
Mm.
executes main method as a thread. So now as it is a thread, so it is executing faster than these two methods. So that is why we are getting 0.
Okay.
Okay. So now there is this property called join, which is going to give priority to my threads.
Property called joins.
Join, Join.
Yeah.
Okay. So carefully observe here. So before going to start threads, what am I going to do is t1 dot join and t2 dot join. So join method, what does it do exactly is, it is going to prioritize my T1 and T2. So whenever we have three threads, we call join method on two threads. It is going to execute these two threads first. After that, it will go to the third thread.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my main method started execution, but it has found out that T1 and T2 got joins here. So T1 and T2 will be executed first, and all the other threads which are executing in the memory will be waited until the execution of T1 and T2.
Okay. Can
Okay.
you come again?
Yeah. So whenever, see, okay, I'll just compare it with two threads. If you have two threads under execution,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So if one of the thread has got join method,
Yeah.
it prioritizes itself. It makes the other thread wait until it completes the execution of this first thread
Okay.
on
Then
the thread
it's
you
like,
call the join.
then it's not a really thread. It's exception. Like
Yeah, it is going to prioritize
only
itself.
join. Okay.
So
Okay.
you have some 100 threads in your program, but you need some of the threads to be executed first. Then only your application runs fast, runs appropriately. So then you are going to use join on that.
Okay.
Okay. So just check this out. These are going to throw an interrupted exception. So we just need to surround them with a try catch.
Okay.
Okay. So just check this out. Now I got count as some zero, some one. Even though,
So even prioritizing is an exception.
yeah, it gives actually the flow of execution is being interrupted, right?
Yes.
So it is going to
Oh,
throw, it might throw an exception called interrupted exception. See, for example, some resource has got blocked, some lock has been occurred on that one, some semaphore has been applied through other program or some kind of thing has done in between. So then it might happen like this. Just wait here once.
okay. Try and catch this.
Okay, see, check this out. We'll definitely get the output more than 20,000. Okay, every time you are getting more than 20,000, right?
Yeah.
29,000, 26,000.
Why?
So, see, these two threads are running parallelly, right?
Yes.
So now what happens is, so what exactly happens is this count plus plus is not exactly an atomic operation, like a single operation. Okay, there
Mm-hmm.
are three operations occurring in this. So we are going to get the value of count, we are going to increment that one, and we are going to place the count inside the count variable again.
Yes.
Okay, now when these two threads are going to increment, what happens is the first thread got the count value which is somewhere like 200. The second thread also get the value 200.
Okay.
So now first thread has incremented, it becomes 201. Second thread is also incremented, it becomes 201. Both put the value inside the count. Again it's 201, it's not 202.
Okay.
But at least any of the thread runs for 20,000 times, right? Minimum of that. That is why we are getting the value more than 20,000.
No, but if it's 20,000, then it throws out of the for loop, right?
Yeah.
The max of the count can be 20,000, maybe plus one,
No, no,
21,
no.
right?
20,000 iterations are happening. Okay. So minimum 20,000
Yeah.
will come.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking count is I. Okay, here count is different.
Yeah, so both are
Okay.
doing the same thing. Actually, it should happen to be 40,000, then it will come out of the loop.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the problem we exactly face when in real time while using threads. So both the threads will be accessing the same resource, and the output will not be the thing what we exactly expect.
So this is a without join.
Yeah. Yeah, with the join only.
With
Without the
join.
join, we won't even get 20,000. No.
Okay.
So if we are not having join, we don't even get the 20,000.
Mm,
1800, sometimes 3199, 476, sometimes 0 also.
yeah, okay.
Okay, so that is
Mm,
what join is. It has prioritized, but still our problem did not got solved. Okay, first thing what we need to do is whatever operation we are doing inside this thread, that should be an atomic operation. Okay, a single operation that should be. Okay, so
okay.
what I'll do is I'll put this incrementation inside a method. Public static void increment on plus plus. Okay, So I'm going to call this increment inside this, the method I'm going to call increment
Yes,
again.
it's the same thing, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing, but that is not an atomic operation, but this is an atomic operation.
What do you mean atomic?
It means a single operation.
Okay.
It's kind of a, even though we write in a single line, it's not a single operation before, but as it is a method call, it's a single operation now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now if I run, so mostly the problem has solved, almost
Okay.
38,000, sometimes 39,000, like that. Mostly it will be still the same. So that is the reason we have to synchronize this method.
Mm-hmm.
Public synchronized static void increment.
So create a method autonomous and then synchronize that method.
Yeah, if I synchronize this method, what will happen is the operation what is being taken here, this resource will become synchronized resource. So this resource can
Yes.
be accessed by a thread at only one time, once by a thread, unless or until this resource has been, see, a thread has is being operating on this particular resource, and the second thread is not allowed to operate on this one.
Okay.
You'll get 40,000. How many times you run also, you'll get 40,000. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what synchronization is. So actually, for a variable we cannot synchronize. We can synchronize only methods.
On method. That's why we're using a method
Yeah,
instead of count.
yeah.
Increment method.
Or else, if that is allowed, means I would have declared the count variable only as synchronized here. No need of writing methods and no need of writing anything inside.
Yeah. Okay.
So that hasn't been provided to us, so we have to use the method here. So for that method has to be synchronized. So now this is a resource line. See, you asked a real-time scenario, right? In using synchronization, I tell you. So for example, in an office, four systems are connected to a printer, and all the people has started printing them. As it is a
Yes.
multitasking, so four pages will be printed with unique content from each and every system. If
Mm-hmm.
multi-threading was applied into that one, what will happen is, so in the first page only, all the four overwriting will happen.
Yes. Then
So
that's not good, right?
yeah, first line of the first of the system, first line of the second system, third system, fourth system, all will be printed on a single paper in a single line.
Okay.
So the paper resource or else the printing method, that has to be synchronized.
Yes.
That is what we have done here. The same thing.
So synchronization means like one process, then finish it, and then start the next one.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
Asynchronous or multi-threading means everything does parallelly. So the
yeah,
printing. Okay. That means the printer uses the same logic.
yeah. No, it doesn't use the same logic. That is only multitasking, not multi-threading. not
Yeah. I
many
mean,
not many resources in our real-time environment are using multi-threading. Only the web applications, some of the web applications which are developed on Java, and we have this .NET, PHP. In PHP we are not having multi-threading again.
but this doesn't need multi-threading because the printer, when you use the multi-threading, you would cause an issue. That's why using synchronous, right?
Yeah, but first of all, there is no need of multi-threading. There is no multi-threading over there. It's only multitasking.
Oh, okay, okay,
Multitasking means one system given four systems given the input over there, so it will be weighted in a queue. All the four
yes,
processes within seconds
yeah,
gap will be there, no? So they will be weighted
one
in
by
a
one.
queue. Every process will be given, will be allocated the printer. So first page will be printed, then second page, then third page, then fourth page. So there is no need of multi-threading, and again synchronization here. That will normally happen with multitasking.
Okay,
Okay, so that is multi-threading.
okay,
So there is not much practice needed for you to in multi-threading in this one. So if you want, you practice this particular sample, the last one what I said to you. The starting ones
okay.
only so that you can understand. I have given those samples. So this one, you if you practice, this is more than enough in multi-threading. Because again, everything newly we need to learn in asynchronous task. That will be some new methods will be there inside that.
Okay. And what are the like? How often we use this multi-threading concept or this stuff in when we write any program, any application, Android?
Wait, you have a splash screen, right? Like your Facebook application opened, you get the Facebook screen first of all. After that, you will
Yes.
be redirected to either login screen or else directly to your newsfeed once you registered.
Yeah.
So if you take your Facebook screen, Facebook actually they don't use. If they use, it would be nice actually. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it has to. We are having another concept for that one. Simply I'll tell you. Wherever we use web services, or else wherever we connect to internet and get the stuff from the internet, there we'll be using multi-threading.
Okay.
Okay, like only once or twice, that's it. Even though we are having our so much data in our system, like in your Facebook, we are having so much data. So but once you connect to internet, it will get all the data for that particular instance of time, and then stores into a local database and then display the data in your Facebook application.
Yeah, but let's say, right, I open my Facebook and I look at my home page or whatever,
Hmm.
and then like if I want to scroll back to the like more updates, like scroll down or scroll up, right?
Yeah, that is called
Then
recycler view.
yeah, then each time when you scroll down, then it gets the data from the internet and displays the data for us, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Because the cache memory only has only maybe like a few lines of the maybe two three screens down when you
yeah,
scroll down.
yes,
That means this we are connecting to internet like multiple times.
yeah, multiple times will be connected to internet.
So that means we use this multi-threading concept there.
Yeah, multi-threading will be using. See, actually, whenever unless or until you scroll down again after going to top of the menu, it doesn't connect to internet again. I mean, it doesn't get the data from the internet continuously.
Yes.
If it's doing like that, means Facebook will eat up so much of your battery over there.
Yeah.
And also, your UI will not wait for so much time that it is going to get the data from the server.
Okay.
So at that point of time, we definitely have to use the asynchronous task.
Hmm.
Yes, that is.
So whenever we need internet connection, then we use multi-threading concept will be used.
Yeah, most probably. See, for example, you some of the applications like you know IRCTC, right?
IRCTC?
Yeah,
I don't know.
you don't know. So, a small personal question: when did you go to America? I mean, from how many years you are staying in Canada?
6 years.
Oh God. Okay. See, so many applications in India. Like you find Amazon application in your phone. So that is
Yeah.
not exactly an application. It's just a screen which is going to load the web page inside that.
Hmm.
So if you can compare Flipkart with Amazon once.
Okay.
So Amazon screen will be completely similar to your web page, and sometimes if your internet is very slow, it will come like only the links will be coming like that. It will happen. If it is an
Yes.
application,
Yeah.
it will not happen. That is just a screen. At that point of time, we did not have a synchronous task or anything.
Hmm.
Okay, we have a concept called web view.
Web view.
Web
Okay.
view. So in this web view, we just give the URL. It will load the. It's like simply you are typing a URL inside the Chrome browser, right? Instead of typing
Yes.
the URL in the Chrome browser, the URL will be stored in your application. Whenever you open the application, that web page will be opened on your application screen. That's it.
It's like static. It stores
Uh,
on our application. So even there is no connection, so the static data will be displayed.
no, connection should be there. Internet connection should be there, but the URL what you are taking will be static.
Okay. URL is static. Okay.
Yeah, so it will just load the web page. That's it. It is not going to wait for some components to come and load and these components to be replaced in your phone or anything. Not such kind of things are going to happen over there.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Okay.
even you open Flipkart or anything when you are offline also, you should be able to sometimes if immediately means once you connected to the internet, you have seen some data. Now you off your data in the internet, but still you can see the some of the data which is present in your Flipkart app.
Yes.
But that
Yeah.
doesn't happen in once the web page is loaded in Amazon. So you can see only the contents in the web page. Just click on one thing, it just says you internet connection is not there or something.
Okay. So you're saying Flipkart like functioning and Amazon both little different?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
here asynchronous tasks are used a lot. So more data.
Okay.
See, you are going to some screen before only. So that data is already present in your application for that particular instance.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Same thing happens on Facebook also. When I we have Facebook, then when I lose my internet connection, I still see whatever is preloaded up to on my app, right?
yeah. So
Same like
even when you are not having internet connection also, you pull down above only, you will get a small message that internet connection is not there. But still the data remains over there.
yes, yeah.
So that is what exactly happens. Once you clear your cache memory, not app
Mm-hmm.
memory. There are two memories: app memory and cache memory.
Okay.
You open your settings and open the Facebook app from the settings and clear the cache, and then open your Facebook. Then you won't be able to see anything.
Yeah. So that data will be stored in our cache memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at that particular point, you will be using this multi-threading over there.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, just practice this last sample what I've showed here. So using the count variable and synchronizing that one, and in the hash map, just a small sample. That's more than enough.
Okay.
Okay,
So
hash
we
map
have
we'll be discussing more in when we are going to databases. You will see, oh, only this one, only for this purpose you are using hash map. You will think like that.
okay.
That will be very very simple. We will not going to use any complex tasks over there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
So today we discussed hash map and then
multi-threading.
multi-thread. The multi-threading we have covered two types of multi-threading. One with
Yeah,
extending the main class thread. The other
yeah.
one is implementing the runnable
Implementing
method.
the interface runnable.
Yeah, and we also use a concept called join to prioritize the
Yeah,
threads.
yes.
And what else did we use?
We use it the synchronized keyword.
Oh, synchronized.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, and that's it.
Now, yeah, that's it for today. And tomorrow morning we'll be starting Android.
Yeah, and this hash map.
Yeah,
So hash map is very straightforward, like array list. So we didn't use much concept in hash map, which is the one concept.
yeah.
Okay,
It's
that's
completely similar to ArrayList, but
and
see, I'll share you some presentations today, multi-threading and collections and all those things. In the multi-threading and collections, the last screen what I have, I'll show. Presentations.
and in hash map, yeah, that's the major difference between array list and hash map. Like
Yeah,
when you want to have a multiple variables within a what is this called constructor.
yeah. So something like key value page. It's kind of you want to give some
Oh
ID
yeah,
to
we
somebody.
use, we use those functions called what is this keys and list something,
Keys and values.
and we use some other function also. One is keys, the other one is
Entry
the
set.
get.
Key set and entry set.
Oh, key set and entry set.
Yeah. See this small table which will give overview of all the collections here.
Oh, collections. Okay.
Yeah, what are the principal collections class we have, which class it is going to extend, so which interfaces it is going to extend. So does this allow duplicates or not, does this follow any order or not, is it sorted or not, is it thread safe or not.
Okay.
Okay, here we have some collections are thread safe, like hash table and then vector, all these are thread safe. Thread safe
But
means
I don't.
they are automatically synchronized.
But do I have to worry about all this stuff? Like we were only talking about
Yeah,
array list and
this
hash
is just
map,
a
right?
Java knowledge.
Okay,
Just in
Java.
case of we won't use in Android. Just as you learned collections, I'm just going to pass this stuff to you. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's
Actually,
fine.
the major differences, we have this hash map and array list, right? The major differences are it is going to its base class is array list, abstract list. Hash maps base class is abstract map. So base interfaces list, and here hash map is map. It allows
Okay.
duplicate elements Hash map does not allow. It maintains insertion order. Hash map does not maintain
Mm-hmm.
insertion order. Array list is
Okay.
not sorted, and hash map is also not sorted. Both are not safe, not thread safe. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, we have also seen the comparator. In hash map, comparator is a very complex concept actually.
Okay.
Okay, let's skip that one. No problem because we won't be using all those things. We actually use the hash map in our whole Android purposes to show to get see the whole data which we have seen before, the JSON data. So all that comes into an array. Every array, in the array all the elements will be there. Every array will be stored into one hash map and then will be displayed. Again the hash map will be replaced with the same values again and will be displayed again. Same values replaced again displayed, like that it will be done because the
Mm-hmm.
keys will be same for all,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what
Yes.
exactly happens in our hash map.
And did we use a comparator? I think we used that in ArrayList, right?
Yeah, in
The
ArrayList we have
comparator.
used a comparator to so that we can sort the data.
Yeah, we used for sorting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, that's
So
that's
this is
that's up to core Java here.
okay.
That's so I'll
Oh,
share this. Did I share strings and exceptions? I did not share. I think
yeah.
I shared only the first two.
No, I have the fourth one.
You have the fourth
One,
one, multi-threading.
we have the first one, and second one was missing. Then we have a third and fourth.
Okay, all the
So we have,
first four we have.
yeah, that's also yes, first four.
Okay, I'll pass the strings and exception that is left over.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want me to send this program also? That
Yeah,
multi-threading one.
yeah, that would be better. Yes.
Yeah. But go step by step as I have gone completely normal like here. So you just go it as a step by step process.
Yeah.
Like first,
And
yeah,
can you summarize like high level, just the concept meanings,
this one,
first?
multi-threading
No, like overall what we learned, like
in Java totally.
yeah, the basics of the four concepts, and then we learned the three
Yeah,
more concepts,
yeah,
right?
sure.
It's
I'll
just
summarize.
high level, just
Yeah.
so.
So we know Java's features; those are okay. So and then Java is said to be purely object-oriented language because of because it accepts it follows the four basic concepts of object orientation. So those are abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. Okay,
Okay.
abstraction is
Yeah.
hiding unnecessary details from the user, so we will be using an abstract class. So actually there are two types of users for Java: the user who uses the application, the user who uses the code of other person to develop his own code.
Mhm.
Okay, in the developer perspective we have seen how to use interfaces and abstract classes and create our application. Like we have designed a car application, if you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, build car, build engine, the car designer, and then finally test user. So user is going to write the car. Okay, that is for example what we had for abstraction, hiding the unnecessary details. So to the car, I mean sorry, to the user, he doesn't know what car designer has written, or he doesn't know what car builder has done, what engine builder has done. He just knows how to drive the car. That's it. Yes or no?
Yes.
So that is what
Yeah.
abstraction is. And then coming to encapsulation. So the data, every class contains two things: data and the behavior. Means variables and the methods. So the variables and the methods which access over these variables are bound into a single unit called object or a class.
Okay.
So the perfect example for encapsulation what we have seen was bean class. It has private variables and then public methods like getters and setters. Then it is
Yeah.
said to be a bean class and it is perfect example for encapsulation. Then coming to inheritance, actually Java is only said to be reusing everything. So the in that particular Java also, some of the concepts written by the user are have to be reused. So for that one, inheritance has been provided. Inheritance is like an object of a class acquiring the properties of an object of another class is nothing but inheritance. So we have some components in a class using this inheritance concept, we are going to copy those concepts into the other one. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, and this inheritance also, we have five types of inheritance. Single inheritance, we have two classes. One of the classes dependent on other one. And multi-level inheritance, we have three classes. The first one is being extended by second one, second one is extended by third one. Now the third one will contain the properties of both first and second. Second one will contain the properties of only first. That is multi-level. And then
Yeah.
we have hierarchical inheritance, where one class is being extended by two classes, B and C class. And if I'm having a class called A, it has some properties. Now B class will have the properties of A class and B class. A class will have the properties of C class will have the properties of A class and C class. It's like a triangle scenario.
Yeah.
And then we have this multiple inheritance, which is not allowed on classes but allowed on interfaces, because to avoid the ambiguity problem here. So we have two interfaces which can be extended by another interface. So
Yes.
interfaces contains only variables and method signatures, but not the method definitions. They are said to be empty constructs.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and then we have this hybrid inheritance, which is nothing but a combination of hierarchical inheritance and multiple inheritance. It
Yeah.
is not. It comes like in a diamond shape. A class is extended by B. I mean, A interface is extended by B interface and C interface. B interface and C interface is extended by D interface.
Yeah. Okay.
So that is inheritance. And then we finally have our polymorphism, which is nothing but an entity containing more than one form is nothing but polymorphism.
Mhm.
Polymorphism is of two types. One is static polymorphism. Other one is dynamic polymorphism. So if we come to static polymorphism, so it can be it is done at the compile time of the program. I mean, which has to be based on the name of the method. Which method has to be selected will be decided at the time of compiling time. Whereas in dynamic polymorphism, the method choosing will be done at the time of execution, not at the compile time. So they are also said to be compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. So
Oh,
compile time polymorphism or static polymorphism, in which we are having multiple methods with the same name, but the difference lies in the parameters. Either the difference lies as a number of parameters, or else type of parameters, or else order of parameters. So we have used the add method with the integers, with the two integers, three integers, again integer, float and float integer.
okay.
Yeah. And then in dynamic polymorphism, we have like, in dynamic polymorphism can be achieved by method overriding. So method overriding is possible only when we have, so, is a relationship between two classes. That is, A class is dependent on B class, or else B class is dependent on A class. If I am having a method called something like such kind of swap, and it is you observed that it is going to take more time complexity or more space complexity, and you want to simply, you are having a way of simplifying that. You should not. You actually should not change the code that is written by somebody else. So you will be overriding that one. So you have to write the same method signature. Whatever the line is above, the same line we have to write below the signature. So public void swap int comma int means here also public void swap int comma int. The same thing it should be there.
Okay.
Now even though you call the swap method from the superclass reference also, the subclass method only will be called. It completely overrides the existence of the swap method of superclass.
Okay.
That is method overriding. So after this we have seen strings. So in Java, strings is not exactly a variable, or it's not exactly a data type. String is a class in Java which is having some specific methods. So string can be created in two ways. So one is using the string literal, as well as the other one is using the what is that, new keyword. So here
Okay.
we have observed the difference between heap area and the string constant pool area, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the string constant pool area, duplicates are not allowed, whereas in heap area, duplicates are allowed. So in
Mhm.
strings, we have a hell lot of methods to use them. So yeah, I asked you to use some methods of them, right?
Yeah.
Like caret function, so many methods are there. So
String
after,
length. Yeah.
yeah, and so it starts with substring, a lot of methods.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. After that, we have also observed exception handling. So whenever
Yeah.
an exception raises, four steps occurs in Java's program. So one is the type of it identifies the type of that particular exception and creates object of that particular exception type, and then it throws that exception object out of the block where exception has raised. If the user has
Yes.
handled that one, that's okay. If user did not handle the exception, the default handler will be provided by the Java virtual compiler, and then the program will be the JVM stops the execution of the program. These are the four steps that happen behind the exceptions. In exceptions, we have observed some keywords called try, catch, finally, and then throw and throws. These are the keywords what we have observed over there. Then whenever an exception, you observe that an exception might be raised, you have the responsibility. You should be able to, means it is your responsibility to handle that exception. So how do you handle that exception? The exception raising statement will be written inside the try block, and the handler, so like what should happen whenever the exception rises, that statement should be written inside either catch block or finally block.
Okay.
Okay, catch block contains the exception object, and you can get the content of that particular exception object. Like you can get a message of that exception, you can get description, you can get something like you can print the object, exception object, or whatever you want, you can do with that object. But then finally, we won't get that particular object. Finally, will be used when such you need such a statements to be executed definitely, like closing a file or closing a database connection, closing internet connection. Even the exception raises, such kind of things. Even the exception rises or not, these all these statements have to be executed definitely. Such kind of statements you are
Yes.
going to write inside the finally block. A try block can be followed by either catch block or finally block, and we can write multiple catch blocks, because sometimes there might be two or three exceptions rising in your program sequence of code, and then you have to handle all those three exceptions, and different kinds of messages have to be printed for each of the exception. At such kind of scenario,
Mhm.
we'll be using multiple catch blocks. And when we are creating multiple catch blocks, we have a small constraint over there that the superclass exception should be coming after the subclass exception.
Yeah.
Okay, because if the superclass exception is brought before, it will be able to handle the subclass exception also, and the subclass exception catch block will never be reached. So we'll get a small error called unreachable code.
Mhm.
Okay, and throw keyword is used to throw an exception object created by the user. If you want to create an exception, you create an exception and throw that one out of the block using the throw keyword, throw. And if you are going to throw an object, or if your method which contains an exception, that means the statements in the method might raise an exception. If you handle that, see, there are one thing. If you are going to handle it, you can handle it using the try catch block. But if you know that the person who is calling you is handling this exception, you need not handle this exception. But you need to tell the person who is calling you that an exception might be raised. Please take care of that. You are going to say him to that. So using the throws keyword, you are going to do that. Okay.
Mhm.
So using this throws keyword, when you are going to specify exceptions, here also there might be a lot of exceptions raised, not only single exception. Then you have to separate the each and every exception within comma. Throws space and not clone not supported exception, array index comma, array index out of bounds exception, comma, something like number format exception. Like you can throw more than one exception here. Okay,
Yeah.
we have thrown only one exception right on that day, but we can throw multiple. Okay, so and
And throws.
throw can only object throw only one object.
Yeah, throws is a throwing at the class level, right? When
At
declaring
the
the
class
class.
level, at the method level actually.
Yeah, method level.
Yeah, at the method level, we'll be telling that it might throw these exceptions.
Okay.
Okay, there we can specify multiple exceptions over there. And then we have seen a custom exception called custom exception we created when we have created a scenario called that, where whenever the user is going to draw more, when user tries to draw the amount and the minimum balance is less than 10,000, we have raised an exception over there, the user defined exception.
Yeah.
To create an user defined exception, we definitely have to extend the class called exception class. and some of the methods and constructors also have to be extended. A constructor which is having a message, a toString method, and also get message method. All these three things have to be implemented by us, so that we can whenever the user calls the this exception object dot get message or the exception object, he prints that one, or else he's going to pass some user defined message into that one. Then you definitely have to write the write these methods. That's all. So that is the exception handling. After this exception handling, we have observed that collections. Okay, so till now we have seen only the primitive data types, and multiple primitive data type of variables can be stored into arrays actually. But in collections, we are given the properties of storing the object types of data like string or else integer. So these are all classes. So user different objects also can be stored inside the collections. So I said that we will be discussing two types of collections inside. So one is array list and the other one is hash map. In the array list, we have seen that the collection object can be created, and what type of data is being stored into that one have to be specified in that particular object creation statement. So array list something like a list equal to new array list, but you have specified string both sides, left hand side and the right hand side. And then we have the add method, using which we are going to add the objects into that one. And we have remove method. Using remove method, we are going to remove the object. We are printing the statements. I mean, we are printing the all the objects present inside the array list by printing them through the system.out.println. We have used for each loop also for printing the objects. If it's a user defined type, we will be storing the user defined object in a new reference, and then we'll be using the methods inside them to print the values. As well, we see the student class in which we have the get roll number and get name methods. Using those, we got the each and every student's name and roll number simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then we have seen the hash map today. So hash map is completely similar to our array list, but the only difference we have in the hash map and array list is hash map contains two values instead of one value. It is kind of a key value pair. It will be used in scenarios like we are going to store data into the database, or we are going to get the data from the internet and store. So we can get the values in from this hash map in two ways. One thing, we can directly print them, or else other one we can, so actually three ways. The second one, we can get the key sets, and based on each and every key we are going to get the value and display. And there is other way of displaying the data from the hash map by using entry set. The entry set is again like it's a clone to your hash map. It is going to get all the data from the hash map and store into that one. So now using the entries, we are going to use the get key and get value methods to print the values from that. The same goes with the user defined object also. And then we have discussed about multi-threading. A thread is a lightweight process. Actually, multitasking is nothing but a process-to-process communication. Two processes can be executed at the same time. That is nothing but multitasking. But there is a problem in multitasking. Switching from one process to other process takes a lot of toll on our system. And at that particular scenario, again, some individual blocks of code are there in each and every process. Those particular individual blocks can be executed one after simultaneously, rather than one after the other, so that you can save the memory. For that particular reason, Java people have introduced multi-threading. So thread is nothing but a lightweight process. A process is being divided into threads simply. So all these threads are going to execute simultaneously at the same time. That is what threading is. In multi-threading, we can create a thread in two ways. One is by extending the thread class, other one is by implementing the runnable intervals. We have seen the third one also here. Thread T1 equal to new thread of new runnable public void run. So we are not going to create another class or another interface or anything. We are directly going to write the thread class here. Okay, with the runnable object.
Okay.
Okay. So these are the two ways, and we have seen one more keyword called one more method called join. Using this join method, we are going to using this join method, we are going to actually prioritize that particular thread. On which method we are going to call this join method, that particular method will be taken as that particular method will be, sorry, not method, that particular thread will be given higher priority, and means the other threads will be waiting for this thread to complete its execution. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
and then we got this synchronizer keyword. Using this synchronizer keyword, we have blocked the threads actually. So blocked a resource exactly. So we created a resource called increment the method, and then we stopped the multiple threads accessing it at the same time by using synchronizer keyword.
Okay.
Okay, so these are the things what we have discussed. Did I skip any point in between?
No, you pretty much covered everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay then. From
Okay.
tomorrow we'll be starting our Android.
Okay.
Yeah. So tomorrow
All right.
also at the same time, 7 to 9, exact.
Okay.
And did you talk to Rahul?
Yeah, I sent him an email and I didn't talk to him yet, but I sent him an email saying to send the account details. He sent his personal details, so I'm gonna call him now. Do you think he will be in office now? So I can call him now, right?
Ah, you can call him back.
Okay. So I'll
Mhm.
call him now.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay then. Bye bye.
All right. Thank you. Yeah.